right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. We are on to episode 11, which is awesome. Round of applause for us, gentlemen, for hitting our second episode in the double digits. Something to be proud of, right?
Man, 11's a lucky number as well. This means it's going to be a good episode.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Awesome. Well, as we always start, we'll go through what we're watching, how we've been, and then we have a review for Maestro. I think just Harry and I have watched that. And then we are going to round up our top 10 of 2023 because it's almost the end of the year already, which is crazy. But yeah, there's been a lot of good movies this year. So we'll round up our top 10s only just to kind of cut it off somewhere, talk about some honorable mentions, and then we're going to do a 2023 movies draft. Where we will each pick 10 so that we can kind of mix it up and get some, maybe 3.5s and 4s in there. And then at the end, we will announce our winners for the giveaway that we're doing. We have 3 movies to give away. So we will end with that exciting news. But yeah, first and foremost, obviously, how are we? What have we been watching? Harry, you go first this time.
I've been really good, thank you. Good week. End of work for the year, which is great. Just good to have a bit of a break. I've been watching a bit, not too much. Doing some cool shit. I went to premiere of The Boys in the Boat. Could ask some questions to Mr. Joel Edgerton, who is the loveliest guy you'll ever meet in your life. He's just a sweetheart. He just loves to love movies. That was great.
Adorable.
Boys and Boats. This movie about I've never heard of the story, but apparently if people like rowing, this is like the best rowing story ever. It's about this like rowing team in the 1930s or 40s in America that's like brought up. It's like the reserve rowing team in this college, and they basically go up to they're so good that they go to the Olympics. It's great. It's a really stock standard, like underdog sports film, but those have their place in this world. And it's just really unoffensive. Just a really good time, good watch. Directed by George Clooney, I said. Stars the brother out of the Fantastic Beasts movies. Can't remember his.
Oh, okay.
But it also stars Joel Edgerton as the head coach. Callum Turner is the guy. From the Fantastic Beasts movies. He's great. The movie's fine. It's really good. Just a super fun watch. I got around to seeing Chicken Run 2, which is up there with my most anticipated movie of the year. It's not as good as Chicken Run Run. This is a movie you can't really dissect. It's fucking clay. It's
not meant to be dissected.
I had a good time with it. It's also got one of the greatest titles of all time, Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget. I'm in. So that was great. I gave that 3 stars as well. I finally watched Bottoms. That's been on my watch list for quite a number of months. Ash has been telling me to watch that for a few times, and I finally just got around to it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. The movie's chock-a-block full of comedy. Not all of it hit for me.
Yeah, same.
But the main 2 actresses were phenomenal. That's Rachel Sonnett and how you pronounce her name? Ayo Edebri.
I think it's Ayo Edebri.
She's fantastic. Like I of
love
course we love her in The Bear. Like she's unbelievable in The Bear. What I love most about her is that she's very, very active on Letterboxd. Have you seen this?
She is. I follow her. Yeah.
She's great. So the top most popular review for Bottoms is her review saying 5 stars. I'm in it with my friends, so that's her review. And I'm like, good on ya.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a very, very good movie. I've just been ticking off 2023 movies that I've missed so that we can get to this. I watched How to Blow Up a Pipeline, which is one of my surprises of the year. I watched this last night. Have any of you guys seen this? I know you saw it, Byron, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's a 3.5 for me.
Nice.
It's a good movie.
Ash?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. It's available on digital. I know that Tyler got to interview a couple of the actors from the movie because I think he saw it like way early.
That's awesome.
I remember seeing like a YouTube video he did where he interviewed some of the cast. So I meant to watch it. I just totally blanked on it until you brought it up.
No, for sure. But I thought this was one of my surprises of the year. It's a great little like closed setting thriller that's just filmed really well and really well told. You care about all these characters and like it just these little twists and turns throughout it. I thought it was very, very, very good. And then this morning I watched Priscilla, and I thoroughly loved Priscilla as well. I thought Kaylee Spanny's
Yay.
unfucking real. I thought Jacob Elordi wiped Austin Butler off the fucking map. Um, I love
He's
this
so
movie
good.
because it's not an Elvis movie at all. It is
Hmm.
entirely a Priscilla film, which like that should go without saying, but I don't know.
That
I
is the
felt
name of the movie.
for sure, but you like going into like a movie like this where not many people know the story of Priscilla. You're going to think that they're going to use the concept of Elvis so much that that's going to bring the audience in,
Hmm.
right? And they're going to like focus more on that than they should. Sophia Coppola doesn't. She just lets Kaylee Spanny just go to town, just absolutely cook. She's
Did you
incredible.
understand what I was? Oh, sorry. I was going to say, did you understand what I was talking about with the her in every shot? Like whether
Yeah,
it's like her foot or like it's literally every shot almost of the whole movie.
yeah, yeah. I was like looking out on that, and I was just like, there was like a couple shots where it wasn't, but then I would look at it again, and you'd see like the tip of her elbow or something, and I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I thought that was very, very good. I told you this before. I messaged you to the group chat before this. One of my favorite things is that the entire soundtrack is like no Elvis at all. They don't even use his songs, which I think is so important for this story. But it definitely gives a new light to this love story of Elvis and Priscilla because like
Hmm.
the even just the Baz Luhrmann film last year, which I liked. I didn't love, I liked it. I thought Austin was great at the time. I'm glad he didn't win Best Actor. That's another story. But this very much kind of shows that again we weren't there for it, but this shows what looks like a more of a window into that life where it's very, very polarizing and very, very like
Hmm.
power dominating, which is really unsettling to watch. It's like a very unsettling love story that's also kind of a horror
Hmm.
story if you look at it in certain realms. It
Yeah.
also really reminded me of May December. I'm just like really reminded me of May December.
That's an interesting correlation. Yeah, I guess yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great point.
But yeah, that's me. That's all I've been watching this week, and then it's Christmas time,
Nice.
so just been watching a couple of Christmas
Yes.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about maybe quickly what our Christmas plans are after we wrap up our what we're watching. But Byron, what have you been up to? How are you feeling? I think I know the answer to that question. And what have you been watching?
Um, I've been reasonably shit. Uh, I've been sick the last couple of days. I'm starting to get better. It's the only reason I'm recording today. Uh, I really haven't done anything because of that. So as my watches, it's a weird bunch. So Harry watched Priscilla. I watched Peninsula, which is the uh, sequel to Train to Busan.
Nice.
Um, it's good.
It's nowhere near
Obviously,
Train to Busan.
it was. Yeah, I put in my review that if you expect Train to Busan, you're just going to disappoint yourself. Um, I still think it's a good movie. There's parts of it that I was a bit iffy on, but overall, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I'm a sucker for zombie movies. It's literally the only reason I watched it.
Oh yeah.
I've just got one movie from that universe left, which is the animated movie, animated prequel. Why that exists, I don't know, but feeling intrigued to watch it. Uh, a couple 2023 releases I ended up watching Thanksgiving. Um, I thought it was good. I don't think it's necessarily a great movie, nor is it a great slasher.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. It's another 3 out of 5 for me.
Don't you think that like
Is that
the
your
like
And then the
first
other,
Eli Roth? Oh,
it
sorry.
is
Go
my
ahead,
first
Harry.
Eli Roth. Yes.
oh nice. Don't you reckon like because I agree with most. I think I liked it a little bit more, but you could see like a
Yeah.
foundation of something fucking awesome there, like a really great
Oh,
franchise
absolutely.
there. Like, but all the for me all the characters were just so forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Same on the page. Same
It
page.
felt like if it's what like Scream would have been if that cast wasn't good.
Yeah.
But But overall, it's a good slasher, and I believe over 120 slashes. So if you want those recommendations, um, but the other 2023 release that I watched was Godzilla minus one, which I won't say was one of my most anticipated movies of the year because uh, much like most people, I didn't even know it was
I
happening
was about to say, did you even know it
until
was
its
coming out?
initial.
Yeah.
And I remember its initial trailer releasing. I was just like, "Oh, new Godzilla movie. I'll watch that." But and then reviews and ratings started coming out about it, and then it was definitely a priority. So I watched that. I won't tell you a score yet. Wonder why. And then just a couple of George and a half style movies. I watched The Hitcher from 1986, which in my review I said was possibly one of the most underrated thrillers of the 80s. I really enjoyed that, although I don't know if I would necessarily say it's a slasher movie. Like it is, but it's not. If that makes sense. I watched Gravity from 2013, the sci-fi flick. Um, Again, I thought it was really good. It's another 3.5. And then Batman Year One, because I got to get some Batman animated content in my week. So that was very good, and it was a 4 star. So it's an
Nice.
okay week for movies, bad week for me.
Fair enough. Hopefully next week will be better for you. I've actually never seen Gravity. That's one that I feel like is super popular, but I've never,
There's George Clooney and Sandra Bullock.
yeah,
It's good.
just never
Like
really
it's
enticed me. I don't know.
yeah, it was like one of those movies that like really benefited from seeing it in the cinema, and then it passes, it just keeps deteriorating.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's. To be fair, I thought I'd rate it lower than that, but I can't get over the fucking visuals of the thing.
Yeah. Nice.
Hell,
All right.
what do you see, Ash? What are you up to?
Yeah, it's been a good week for me for movies. Life-wise, it's been fine. Work was a little bit more crazy this week, so it kind of went by really slow, and then it like all of a sudden picked up yesterday, and now I'm like, oh, it's Thursday night. Damn.
Yeah.
So yeah, tomorrow actually we close at noon, so I only have to work for 4 hours, which is great. And then I have Monday off, obviously. So yeah, nice little 3.5 day weekend. Won't complain about that.
Hell yeah.
But what I've been watching, I can't remember last time did I don't think I mentioned this because I think I watched it that night, but I rewatched The Fablemans.
Nice.
Yeah, love that movie. I
See
really
that?
loved it last year, but I still loved it just as much on rewatch.
Hell
So
yeah.
that was nice.
I adore that movie.
Rewatched Lady Bird. Yeah, that movie, I feel like it got a lot of hate. I don't know. Spielberg tends to introduce a lot of polarizing opinions. I don't really understand it, but I've always been a fan.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, rewatched Lady Bird, which was my favorite Greta Gerwig movie. Gave that 5 stars again. I watched Palm Springs over again. It's such a comfort movie for me. I don't know what it is, but it's like the most perfect 90-minute movie I can think of
It's great,
to just
isn't it?
throw on.
It's as soon as J.K. Simmons turns up, you're like, oh, this is fantastic. Like, this is unbelievable.
I adore Andy Samberg. I always have. So I think I have like a little bit of a soft spot for his comedy style, but I adore that movie. I think it's just so much fun.
Hell yeah.
And then I did watch a new movie that I hadn't seen before on my watch list, Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh, the
You guys
Coen
seen that?
Brothers film.
Yeah, yeah, with Oscar Isaac.
Yes. Yes.
And
Movie's so
trying to watch more Carey Mulligan movies. So I think that's why I added it to my watch list
I wonder
originally.
why.
We'll talk about her soon, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, and she was fantastic in that, like she is in everything. And I thought it was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. I didn't like love it, like my favorite thing ever, but I thought it was really solid. I
Nice.
watched Quiz Lady, that comedy on Hulu with Aquafina. Have
Is it good?
you seen that?
Yeah, I like
I gave it
Aquafina.
3 stars.
She's getting a
It
lot
was
of hate
fun.
lately. I love Aquafina.
Yeah, she's great in The Farewell. I feel like people kind of think of
Yeah.
her and they think of like her voice acting or like the Little Mermaid that she did earlier this year, but she's done so much more than that.
Yeah,
So
I saw one guy, someone make I can't even remember who. I'm kind of glad I don't remember who, but they made a video on TikTok about why Aquafina like sucks, and they just continually reference Shang-Chi, and I'm like, she's done like Oscar
That's not even a
nominated
bad
films.
movie.
It's not even that's like one of the best movies that like of the
I
MCU's
like
latest years.
Shang-Chi.
But I was like,
Yeah.
she's done insane work, right? Like that's just crazy to me.
Yeah. That seems like an odd take. Yeah, I like her. And I thought it was a very like silly, easy watching movie. It's very unoffensive, kind of like we, talked about earlier with other movies. It's just if you like game shows like me, I feel like it's a fun time, but not anything you know, anything amazing,
Yeah,
but yeah, worth a watch. And then I watched John Wick Chapter 4. I'll save my thoughts on that. But that was a lot of fun. Um, Maestro, we're going to talk about soon. I watched that. And then
uh,
Saltburn, finally watched it. And
let's chat.
I gave it 4 stars.
Hell yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I think I enjoyed the first chunk more, I think I told you, than the second chunk. I think the ending kind of brought me back into it. I saw like some people talking about a similar thing to what I just said, but like a little bit different order, like which parts they liked more than others. But yeah, that first like 45 minutes really drew me in.
Yeah,
And obviously the acting's great, the visuals are great. I need to rewatch it when I get a better copy for the visuals to be fully in effect. And then Rosamund Pike,
Rosamund Pike.
is
Yeah,
that her name?
Rosamund. Yeah,
She's just fabulous.
yeah,
I just think that she's great in everything that she does. I just thought that her character was actually like my favorite. I thought she was hysterical.
yeah. Oh, Oliver, you're simply
She's just,
handsome. I've got a
she's
ghastly
just like,
phobia of
I don't like
ugliness.
ugly people.
Yeah.
Like just so obnoxiously like rich, over the top, but she played it
She
perfectly.
does the
So yeah,
best
really enjoyed her.
line in that movie, which like I'm gonna say it. It's not a spoiler because you don't know the context, but
Yeah.
she'll do anything for attention. The best line that is
Oh my God.
that
I
just
was shooketh.
encapsulates that character so well. It's so good. Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah. 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 No, I thought actually, and it doesn't really spoil it either, but the sister, the bathtub scene when she is talking to him,
Um,
like one of the best of the whole movie. I thought she was fabulous. I don't know that actress's name. I apologize, but um, yeah, she was fabulous. My main issues with it just came from some of the actual like story and like script part of it, not so
sure.
much an issue with like the acting or the visuals or anything like that. I thought that was all really good. So yeah, happy I finally watched it.
Hell yeah.
So that wraps up our what we've been watching. So I guess we can jump into Maestro. Harry, you watched this a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, yeah. I went to the Sydney premiere for Maestro. Do you want me to
Okay.
go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me your thoughts. I don't think we've talked about it at all
So,
yet.
so yeah, it's been a few weeks since I saw it, but like I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. It's like I love Bradley Cooper. I love his acting. I love his direction. I thought Star is Born was
Hmm.
amazing. I loved Star is Born when it came out. I don't think this is to the level of Star is Born yet. It might be when it grows on me. I don't think it will. But what I came away from this movie, the one thing that just stuck out for me, or two things. One was that Bradley Cooper just fucking gives a fuck. Like about every
Hmm.
single frame in this film is purpose. Like like even like the tracking shots of overhead, it really just sets you into this sort of time period, which is awesome. And the
Hmm.
second is that Carey Mulligan is unbelievable in this movie. I thought she
She might be one of my favorite actresses of all time at this point.
I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think that's a very stock standard, low fire,
Never
low
given a bad
risk.
performance.
She hasn't. She's
I will
unbelievable.
say that with confidence.
Especially in her like I don't want to say later years that makes her seem old. She's not old, but like her like latest part of her career. Like
Hmm.
from Promising Young Woman to She Said, I thought she was brilliant in She Said. To even
Yeah.
Saltburn, she's incredible in Saltburn.
Yeah.
Like she's having a time of her life at the moment. The movie is good. It loses its way a little bit in the middle, I thought, but it
Hmm.
really the way it ties up, I thought it was done perfectly. So Bradley Cooper spent 8 years training to become a conductor, just so that he can do these scenes to fruition and give it all the respect that he can give it.
Insane.
And that really comes across. You can really,
Hmm.
really tell that he's like put everything into this. I loved the story. I thought the story was great. It was like a very heartbreaking sort of story about success and love. Um, but yeah, I thought it was very. I feel like I've been reading other reviews. I like it a lot more than most. It seems. Which I don't know. I just like to like movies, but yeah,
How dare you?
yeah. How dare I? I was talking about this in Marta the other day. We're talking about like random movies that like we like that no one else likes, and Marta's just like, I just like to like stuff, and I'm like, right? Like it's insane.
Yeah. No, she'll tell me that sometimes, like with certain movies, she's like, well, just because that specific person didn't like maybe take it with a grain of salt because, some people are just more opinionated, and I think that's fine. But like for me, even if I don't love the story or like I get like lulls in it, I'm not going to give that movie a 2 out of 5. That
No.
seems like just so harsh. Like if I don't love it, I'm going to go with like 3.5. But some people will give it a 2 just because they didn't like the story or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So everyone's a little bit different. I agree. People are being a little bit mean to this movie. I didn't think it was my favorite thing of all time. I didn't think it was like super engaging the entire way through, but I agree with everything you've said as far as like you could tell he cared so much, like so many details, so much beautiful cinematography and like colors, and the whole black and white sequence was
Mm-hmm.
so good. I loved that a lot. The music was obviously incredible. I don't know anything about him and the real
Neither did I.
Leonard Bernstein. I don't really know anything about him at all. Um, but I assume that Bradley Cooper did his research because I know he cares a lot. And the direction was really good. The acting, I don't really know because I don't really know what this guy was like in real life. So it's hard to say like how well he acted, in comparison to the real life person. But yeah, Carey Mulligan for me was the standout. I think this ended up being a bit more about like a story of love and marriage than it was just about him and his career, which I wasn't expecting. But I think it kind of worked better, I guess, for me personally, that it was like that. And the family life and, kind of seeing their kids and all of that. I really enjoyed a lot of those moments. But I wasn't a huge fan of like the script. I do feel like it was a bit hard to stay engaged, and I lost me in the middle a bit. But then it kind of like Saltburn, it kind of brought me back at the end. But I just didn't care as much about this movie as I did Saltburn, so I gave it 3.5. I think it's worth a watch though. I think it's really good. I think it's a perfect time of year to watch it too. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
a good movie to watch with your parents or with the family or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Like
But yeah,
I've got my mum coming to visit. I think she gets here like fucking in 30 minutes or something. Like not here. She
oh
doesn't, but in Sydney in like
yeah,
30 minutes. And there's like I'm like to my head I'm like she's gonna love Maestro and she's gonna love Holdovers. She will
yeah.
love Holdovers. So yeah, I'm keen to show her those movies this Christmas for sure. It's the perfect way to put that film. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but other than that, I think that pretty much sums it up. But yeah, I think people are being a bit harsh to it. So I think definitely if you're worried about watching it, I would say watch it and figure it out for yourself because it really seems to be a very like personal experience,
For sure.
however you kind of see movie watching. So
If you're watching this at home, please watch with headphones or something because the conducting scenes, there's this
yeah,
one scene in particular that's like 8 minutes long that is spectacular, and that with headphones on, like I watched in the cinema, so I was very lucky to see it that way. But with that scene would just benefit from headphones on for sure.
yeah, that's a great point. I did not do that, but that probably would have made some of those scenes even better for me. Also, shout out Maya Hawke. I always love to
Yeah,
see Maya Hawke
she
in
came out of
movies.
nowhere for me. I was like, what the
She's
fuck?
great.
Yeah, she's awesome. Also, shout out to the which will probably get nominated the makeup and hairstyling because what Bradley looked like
Yeah,
throughout this film was amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
because the film spans across like 40 years or something, right? Like 30, 40 years.
Yeah, it's a long time, like from when they meet basically to yeah, when they're like
Old.
older. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Epic. Great film.
cool. Yeah. All right. Well, that is our only review for the week. So are you guys ready to jump in to our
Yeah.
top 10 of 2023?
Yeah,
Um,
buddy.
So,
so
continue. Yeah, no, continue.
I'm gonna give you the rules, give you the
That's how
lay of
I
the
was going
land.
to be like, how are
So
we doing
we're
this?
gonna do we'll do 10 through 6. So we'll kind of go one by one and just kind of, you can give us little synopsis if you want to on like why you have it there if you want, but I figure we could save 1 through 5 for kind of delving in a bit more as to why we have it there.
Hmm.
But also before we start, I wanted to also ask you guys one hidden gem that's not in your top 10
Oh, I like that.
that you could pick for this year, and one movie that made you laugh the most outside
I
of your
could
top
give you
10.
I could give you multiple.
Well,
She
Um,
said one,
you
Darren.
Byron.
can.
She said one. All right.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I have the ability to give multiple.
Well, good, Byron, because I'm gonna have you go first, with your 10 through 6. And if you want to
Fuck.
give us your hidden gem and made you laugh the most, you could do it after you go through your 10 through 6 if you want.
Um, the movie that made me laugh the most, I think, is still No Hard Feelings. The Jennifer Lawrence
Nice.
comedy. Um, I don't know. It's not a movie that I'm going to revisit, but based off of everything I've seen, pretty much everything I've seen this year, I've seen once. There's not many that I've revisited. So nothing on No Hard Feelings. I probably won't revisit it, but off first watch, it's off the top of my head, it's the funniest movie I've seen this year. A
Nice.
hidden gem. Um, Damn, it's kind of
If I'm
hard.
stumping you, you can just go into your honorable mentions if you want.
There's, I mean, like I would say Blackberry doesn't get the attention, but I think
Yeah.
everyone knows it's there. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a hidden gem. It's just
I don't know.
people won't fucking talk
I
about it.
mean,
No, I
it
think
only has 33,000 logs
yeah.
on
Really?
Letterboxd. That's a lot less than a lot of other movies.
You're thinking of people like us that try and watch as many as possible, right? Like the vast majority don't know Blackberry.
It's got quite a no. I've got quite a few mutuals that have seen it. But I'll go with Blackberry because I think Blackberry is one of the more slept on movies this year.
Nice. All right, then you can give us your 10 through 6 then.
Yeah, I do want to just throw out a handful of honorable mentions. Suzume
Still need to see it.
um,
Still need to see that.
is
Okay.
my second highest rated animated film of the year. I haven't seen The Boy and the Heron, just to clarify. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One,
Mhm.
I thought was an absolute joyride of action, and
I'll
Tom
tell him.
Cruise
I'll tell him.
will not disappoint.
Yeah, I'll tell him.
Fuck off.
He'll be happy to hear that.
And
He'll be happy to hear that.
my last honorable mention, I'm sad it didn't make the top 10. Evil Dead Rise. Um, I love this movie. It's definitely one of my favorites that have released this year. Although I do not rate my favorite movies, I don't rate them higher than I would. I try to push favorites aside and rate them just purely on quality. Favorite obviously bumps them up a little bit, but I'm not gonna,
Mm.
you know. So my number 10 belongs to, in my eyes, the best horror movie of 2023, which is the Michael and Danny Philippou directorial debut, Talk to Me.
Great pick.
Nice.
Um, I've been pretty vocal on the possession narrative being drilled into the fucking ground. I like to say that The Exorcist and The Conjuring are the two standouts. But Talk to Me was a refreshing, fun, original take on that narrative. And I think it's a great movie and another good addition to A24's filmography. Number 9 is Napoleon.
Wow.
It's Ridley Scott. It's my favorite director of all time. I did push that bias aside. I genuinely think that Napoleon was a great movie. It has its slight issues here and there for me, mostly in the pacing
Mm-hmm.
and some of the dialogue. But I think this is as epic as a war movie can possibly be. I really did enjoy my time with it. Number 8's The Killer, another massive director, David Fincher. I think The Killer was great. I think Fincher and Fassbender is a duo made in heaven. And for this kind of movie, I think it worked wonderfully.
Yeah.
7 is the best romance of the year. Not that there has been much competition. Past Lives, again, another win for A24, and again, another directorial debut from Celine Song. I think she absolutely killed it. And number 6, one of the best superhero movies of recent times, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Those were all those I mentioned. So actually, Past Lives and Guardians are 4.5s. Killer, Napoleon, Talk to Me are all 4s. But Guardians, I think, was a near perfect superhero movie, and I think it was a perfect conclusion to that trilogy. Uh, James Gunn, it's also solidified James Gunn as the greatest comic book director of all time. Sorry, Zack Snyder. Um,
No one was arguing
but
that.
yeah, I argue that.
No one was arguing
Arguing
that.
with
I
yourself.
do. I do. Zack Snyder's the fucking man. Shut up.
He is the man,
But
but no one's saying he's the goat. Like,
oh no, he's one of them. No, he's one of them.
all right, I respect your
He's one of
opinion.
them.
I respect your opinion.
He's one of them. But yeah, that's my 10 through 6.
Nice. All right, Harry, you got to give us your hidden gem and your most laughed at movie,
All
and then
right,
10 through 6.
hidden gem, Ash. I'm going to give to a movie I don't think either of you have seen yet. I've talked about this a couple of times. Late Night with the Devil.
Oh,
It's
I really want to watch
No,
it.
it's
I don't think it's online yet.
no, it is. You mean in cinemas? The
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so this movie's amazing. It's a really original, fun take on a horror. If you haven't heard me talk about it, which I've talked about this movie numerous times, but very quickly, it's about this like late 70s talk show host. That is like it's the whole movie encapsulates like the last recording of the show where he brings on a guest that claims is possessed by a demon or the devil. And the whole film is either shown in either black and white, which is flashbacks and gives you story about the main character and like everything like that and the cults that happen around the society, and then the rest, which is shown in present day, is all shot as if you're watching a 1970s late night talk show. And I thought that was awesome, and just really, really, really original and a lot of fun. So that'd be my hidden gem. I gave that 4 stars, and I can't wait to watch it again. My funniest movie of the year is in my top 10, so I'm going to wait until that says that. But I'll give you my second favorite. I'll give you my second favorite, second funniest at least, which would either be, I'm going to give you a slice down, either be Dream Scenario because of Nick Cage, and I saw that not sober, or Dungeons and Dragons, which I think is one of the biggest surprises of the year. I think that movie is hilarious as hell. Honor Among Thieves. Yeah. Seems Byron isn't happy with that, but it is what it is. So some shout outs. What do you call them? Not shout outs. Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
Thank you. Some honorable
Mentions.
Thank you. We'll go. I also have left Evil Dead Rise just off my top 10. Just off. I've seen 115 movies this year. So just out of top 10 means it is still excellent in my opinion. So it is my favorite horror movie of the year. Shout out as well. I'm just going through ones that The Killer I've got just outside, as well as John Wick Chapter 4, and Barbie. I loved Barbie, just missed out. And finally, to just miss out on my top 10 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Loved that movie. The best MCU movie in years. It's great, but just made out on my top 10. So coming in number 10 is Ari Aster's third installment of With Beau is Afraid. This movie took me. I've seen it twice now, and it just keeps getting better and better. I think the Joaquin, like this movie is so polarizing. It's a movie I
still haven't seen it.
I can't recommend this movie. I can't because I just
Anyone that disliked it, watch it a second time,
yeah.
please. It helps tremendously.
It's so good, but like even if you don't like it, you can't come out of that and be like Joaquin phoned it in. We've got. I liked Napoleon, Byron. I really liked it. I didn't like you. Obviously, liked it a lot more than I did for sure, and I respect that. He dominates in Beau is Afraid a lot more than Napoleon. That's my opinion. But like, still like it's Joaquin Phoenix. I don't think there's a performance where he did badly. So
I'd agree.
yeah, but it's still
I'd agree.
that's like he's one of the greatest of all time. So every performance he does is always gonna be great.
Absolutely.
So Beau is Afraid, it's polarizing as hell, but I loved it. Number 9 is a new addition to this list, which is Godzilla -1. One of the best monster movies of all time for me. I think it is the best Godzilla movie, period. It's insane that they've made a human story in a Godzilla movie and made it really goddamn good. So that's my number 9. Number 8 is my favorite superhero film of the year, which is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I love this movie. This movie's great. The art style is amazing. It's insane that the Into the Spider-Verse is so good and so well loved, and they were able to replicate that and build on top of it. My one issue with it just doesn't have Spider-Man Noir, Nicolas Cage, put him back in. and then you might get a 5. Yeah, so that's number 8. Number 7, another new.
Was he not at the end? Spider-Man Noir, was he not at the end?
Where?
In the when they're setting up for the third movie,
He
is
is.
his
He is
character
in
not
the
at
end.
the end?
Is it? I can't. I saw this in like.
I think
I'm
he
pretty
is.
sure he is. They all
Okay.
stand in a little group. They're like, "Let's go third
It's
movie."
Rewatch it.
it's still 8 of the year. Yeah, he probably. I saw this in what, like fucking June. Okay, the number 7 is The Holdovers for me. Paul Giamatti. I think it's either him or Killian to win Best Actor. This movie's special. It's a warm hug on a Christmas day, and I truly think it's gonna get better over time as well. And number 6 is the return to the screen with Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. This movie's fucking awesome, start to finish. It is performances out the door. I was talking to a friend and he was just like, "Oh, dude, Leo should absolutely like he dominated in Killers of the Flower Moon." I'm like, Leo is good. It wasn't even the second best performance in that movie for me. Well, it wasn't even the second best. He was good though. But the emergence of Lily Gladstone, I think this is what this film is really going to be remembered for. Because I think she's going to be an absolute juggernaut. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, I thought Kills of the Flower Moon, the runtime didn't affect me at all. It just glided by. I thought it was very, very great. What about you, Ash? Give me a 10 to 6, but also
Nice.
give me the funniest movie of the year and your hidden gem.
Okay. For my hidden gem, I like both the ones you guys. Well, sorry, I haven't seen yours here. I like the one that Byron gave. I would have picked that, but I think I'll go with Missing, only because nobody talks about this movie.
Yeah,
Oh
Um,
no, there was a point where Harry wouldn't shut up about it.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that was like back in March though. Yeah, I really liked it so much more than I expected to. I think it's really solid. I think it's actually better than Searching.
Easily as
Yeah,
well.
I
Easily better than Searching.
I think it's got you like on the edge of your seat type of movie. If you really just like immerse into it and don't pause it, don't get distracted on your phone, like it's a really good thriller story that has so many twists and turns. So yeah, shout out to Missing. It's not, it's number like 16, I think, for me for the year. So it's not, in that top, but I still think it's worth mentioning. Funniest movie. I don't know. I laughed a lot during Saltburn last night,
Yeah,
but
that's a
I
good
think
one.
for me, yeah, I think Joyride made me laugh the most. I
Yeah.
know it didn't work for everybody. That or Dumb Money. I feel like I laughed almost equally in both of those. I thought they were just both hysterical. So yeah, Joyride was definitely a movie that worked for me personally, and I thought it was just such a nice like breath of fresh air for like a female-led comedy. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope we get more of those. But yeah. All right. Jumping into my, I guess, honorable mentions. I'm trying to think of a couple you guys didn't already mention. Actually, Evil Dead Rise is my favorite and highest rated horror film of the year. I think we
Agreed.
all had the same score for that movie. But I gave a lot more 4.5s than you guys, I think, this year. So like it still comes down to like number 14 for the year. So because I have so many 4.5s, it was kind of hard to
Yeah,
pick.
Yeah. Also,
Talk to
sorry.
me,
Shout out
obviously.
to
Oh,
Evil Dead Rise for the greatest title sequence of this year.
oh yeah.
title card.
The title
Yeah,
card
fuck
was
yeah.
mad.
So
The
epic.
title card was mad.
Just out
So
of
good.
nowhere.
Yeah,
Just
it's so sick, man. That goes way too hard. So
Whenever
I
they came out in like April, and the fact that we're still thinking about it and talking about it, that's a good sign because it's
Good
been
hope
like
Lee
8
Cronin
months.
stays around.
yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking
Same.
pray he stays around.
Amen.
Agreed. And then the last couple honorable mentions would be Theater Camp and May December. They just are outside of my top 10. I know Theater Camp is definitely not one that's going to work for everybody, but as somebody who grew up in theater and musicals and all of that fun singing, dancing stuff, it worked really well for me. And I love
Oh, yeah.
mockumentary style. I'm a huge, Office, Parks and Rec fan, so that works for me. But I know it doesn't always work for everybody. Okay, so jumping into the 10 through 6. So at 10, I have Priscilla. I went back and forth a lot
Ooh.
between this and May December, but I saw Priscilla twice and I loved it just as much the second time. So that was like a solidifier for me.
I love that. Good
Um,
work. Nice.
yeah, I don't know. Something about it is so subtle and such a simple, like
Yeah.
script and plot, but it just had a really big impact on me. There were just so many moments in that movie where I feel like I related to just being like a female and like, when you're kind of growing up and like you're insecure, but you want to impress like maybe your significant other, and he's so much older than her. Obviously, like I have no clue what that's like, but I can imagine she's just wanting his approval on everything. And it was just so heartbreaking to watch. So I really love that movie. And I think Kaylee Spaney is going to be great. I'm very curious what she's going to do next.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. And then number 9, probably a big hot take for this little group here, but I have Wonka. I
That's
loved
good. No,
it.
I
You
love
know
that you
this.
got
We
that.
already talked about it. I just had so much fun with this movie, so it wasn't gonna not make my top 10. Obviously, a couple I haven't seen. Like I haven't seen The Holdovers. I haven't seen Godzilla minus one. So some of these, bottom ones could change once I watch those. Um, Boo! Why are you booing me? I haven't seen it yet. I'm
Byron,
sorry,
Byron, you've
Byron.
seen 6
How about
movies
you
this year.
should? Like you.
I've seen about half the amount of new releases this year that you guys have seen, so I'm
No,
doing the
that makes
best I
sense.
can.
No, you're good.
But yeah, I just loved Timothy Chalamet and that. I loved the whole cast. We already talked about it last week. I won't harp on it, but I just had an absolute blast with this movie.
Hell yeah.
Number 8, I have The Boy and the Heron. That's my
Nice.
second favorite, yeah, animated movie of the year. The more I think about it, the more I love it. So,
Yep.
yeah, I kept kind of bouncing it up. I was like, kind of had it like a little bit lower, and then I was like, no, I can't stop thinking about it. It's just so good. The world he creates is just so infatuating. It's just like so fun to think about. All the different birds and just everything he goes through while he's in that little world is so fun.
Amen.
And it has like, deep meanings too, with like the mortality and just all of that, kind of thinking about life and forgetting things, moving past things. It has like a very like adult undertone to it,
Yep.
which is cool. Number 7 is John Wick 4.
Nice.
I love this movie. I gave it 4.5. I love action movies. I don't know that I've really talked about that with you guys, but most of them are cheesy to me. Like a lot of them just come off so over the top. Like I hate all the Fast and Furious movies. I don't like cheesy over the top action, but this movie, the fighting just went on for like 30 minutes before it actually like someone took a breath. I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like how? How is Keanu Reeves doing all this? I don't know.
It's so good. It's
I
so
really don't
good.
know.
Nice
I
pick.
can't stop thinking about it. I had so much fun watching it. It's just a blast of a movie from start to finish.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then number 6, I have Barbie. I know I liked this a lot more than a lot of people, but that's not really too much of a surprise. I don't know. I feel like it just hit me emotionally a very specific way. And I just absolutely loved all the main actors. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, America Ferrera is just incredible in this movie. Even the daughter, I always forget her name, Ariana something. I think, but yeah, I love everything about this movie. I do think there is a little bit of spots in it where it gets a little bit like with the car chase scene, and some of the scenes in the real world are not like the best. I understand that, but I still think overall it's a really well done movie. The consumerism part didn't really bother me personally, but I know for other people that kind of felt like too much for them, like
It's
Warner
supposed to be
Brothers
there.
putting out this movie about making you want to buy a bunch of stuff. But I mean,
It's supposed to be there. That's
that's
what
the
like
movie
that.
business.
That's
That's
the.
yeah.
This isn't a charity. Like yeah. Like
No, that's the point.
I
Yeah.
can't wait till you
So
see Poor Things. I can't wait.
yeah, that's the other one I haven't seen. Sorry. So yeah, between The Holdovers, Poor Things, and Godzilla minus one, I feel like those bottom couple could definitely change. So I'm very curious where Poor Things will land for me. But yeah, that's my number 6. So we can go through 5 through 1, one at a time. Byron, number 5.
My number 5 may upset the odd person because a lot of people do have this as their number 1. Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon
I gave it 6. Yeah,
is
that's
my
fine.
number 5. I like movies that after I'm done watching them, I question what the standout feature was. I don't think this movie has one. I think every part of this movie is next to perfect. This is one of my highest 4.5s. I rank all of them. I rank like every individual rating. I rank every movie that I've given that score, so I can keep track of what's like where stuff ranks for other lists. This is near the top of my 4.5s. I think the acting is flawless. Uh, Leonardo DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone, especially Jesse Plemons, Robert De Niro, everyone in this movie for me was great. Better than great. They were fucking fantastic. Scorsese's direction is nothing short of masterful, but that's to be expected. Martin Scorsese is the greatest director of all time, in my eyes. Um, this was just another movie that met expectations and surpassed them. And it's also a movie that I feel will 50-50 the Oscars with another movie. Um, in the majority of the big categories. And I think everyone knows what that other movie might be, but I will not mention that yet. So, Killers of the Flower Moon is my number 5 of 2023.
It's a good number 5.
Nice. Harry,
Me? All right,
number 5?
my number 5 is. Let me look. It's the second best romance film of the year, which is Past Lives. Past Lives I adore. I Byron getting a little bit of back sound by the way, just so you know. Past Life is just took me. I love this movie. I saw this in Sydney Film Festival in like June. It just fucking took me. I fucking loved it. What I loved about it is it's just so simple. It doesn't try and overcomplicate anything. It's just about these two people that are just in each other's lives. It's kind of just it in these few separate windows in their life. It's written to perfection. It's acted beyond that. I think this is the directorial debut, right, for Celine Song. I think this is unbelievable. I will be there day one, every single time. Past Lives. I thought it was just very, very simplified, but very, very, very special. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Great pick.
What's your number 5, Ash?
My number 5 is the same as Byron's, actually. Killers of the Flower Moon. This is my last 4.5. My top 4 are all my 4 or 5 stars for the year. I don't want to repeat anything you just said, but to add to it, I think there's not a lot of imperfections here. I think it just boils down to like how much maybe like the story grips you, or how much you kind of want to like immediately restart the movie. And for me, it wasn't one where I was like, oh wow, I loved it so much I want to immediately restart it. And for me, that usually it means it's not going to be a 5. I thought it was next near perfect though. I think obviously the direction is really, really good. I think Lily Gladstone definitely for me is the standout. I think I agree, Harry, with that. I don't think it's Leo's best performance. He just has so many good ones when you're comparing them. I don't think this one even comes close.
Still great. I agree.
Oh yeah,
wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, it's still great, but yeah, it's no.
It's always going to be great. I actually really thought that Jesse Plemons was a standout for how small his role was. I always love him though in everything he does. He always brings so much, even if he's in the movie for 10 minutes or 2 hours, he still brings the same amount of effort. So I think learning more about this story was really important, especially me being like an American. I feel like this is a part of history that I absolutely never learned about. Never feel like it was really represented in school, like when you're learning about history. So I think it was really heartbreaking and important to get to see more of kind of what that was like for those, for the Osage people. So I really loved learning about that. I think the runtime was fine. And I absolutely would watch it again. I just think that it would need to be a bit of time before I watched it again.
Oh, well done.
Nice. All right, Byron, number 4.
My number 4. Now, Talk to Me, I said was the best horror of the year. Now, this movie is its first genre on Letterboxd is horror, so I don't know if we want to count it. I haven't added it to my horror ranking because I might have. I think I did. Fuck it. Godzilla -1 is my number 4.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with
this?
It's
not a horror. It's definitely not a horror.
No, so it's like a monster movie, but not the same kind of monster movie that would be a horror movie.
I understand why it's a horror. It's an action sci-fi.
Yeah. Great. Deserves to be in your top 5 though, for sure.
Yeah. So this is another 4.5. This was incredibly close to a 5, and I might bump it up to a 5 after the black and white version comes out. If that's just as good, I'm just gonna give the movie a 5
I
because
don't
fuck it,
get
why not?
I don't get these black and white versions. Dude, like, sorry, side story, side point. They brought out a black and white version of Mad Max Fury Road, and like colors make
Mm,
that movie. Why like? And
Wait, what?
I went and saw it. It was called like the black and chrome
mm,
version or
mm,
something.
mm.
It was just nowhere near as good. And that's gonna be like, why do we need? You know why? You know why they do it though, Byron. You know why? There's one
Still want to
central.
make it feel like the classic.
They want to
I
fucking
don't know.
sell more tickets, is what they want to do. They want to fucking re-release it and sell more tickets, which I
I
get it.
ho-
They just put a fucking
I
filter on the
hope Robert
thing.
Eggers Nosferatu does the same.
But Nosferatu is black and white from the start. They're not re-releasing
Uh,
it, a color version of Black
yeah,
and Nosferatu. That's
yeah,
one. They're
yeah,
just re-releasing it, and like the black and white nature of Godzilla minus one will not add anything to it, and it kind of will take away a lot from it because there's a central element of color
yeah.
in it towards something that
Have you
happens.
yeah? Have you watched the black and white version of Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Yes, many times.
You mean the
How do
movie?
you
Yeah,
how do you
it came out as just
joke?
like
Yeah, that's the joke, Harry.
yeah. Nice, sorry.
But
Continue.
yeah, number four, Godzilla minus one.
Good
Uh,
pick. Good pick.
Hands down, or at least from what I've seen, is the best monster movie ever made. Uh, Again, much like Killers of the Flower Moon, I don't think there's one singular uh, standout feature of this movie. I think everything about it is next to flawless. Um, Visually, there's the odd part that's a little wonky, but I think overall the visuals fucking bang. I think the performances are really good. I think its themes are greatly explored. Um, I think the balance between drama and action is perfect. I do love when a movie can balance its genres well, and this one did it flawlessly. So definitely one I'm going to revisit, um, and probably forever. I don't really see a monster movie ever topping this, or at least for a long time.
Nice.
Nice.
Harry,
My number
number
four.
4.
My number four. I'm including this. I'm allowing this. It's a documentary, so I'm allowing it. It's a type of film, you know.
It is.
I was
I know
waiting
what
for
it
this.
is.
Yeah, it's
I
still
was gonna. Yeah.
it's still a Michael J. Fox movie. It says movie in the title as well. This fucked me up. This is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen in my entire life. I love Michael J. Fox as
Mhm.
both a person, as an artist, and I adore the Back to the Future movies. This just gave me a whole new perspective on him, and this is like one of those movies that like as soon as I finished it, I was like instantly wanting to rewatch it because I'm like this, and
Mhm.
even me, I rewatched all three Back to the Futures as soon as I finished watching this as well. But the story of how these movies were made is stunning, but it's also just his relationship with his wife as he goes into this like devastating illness of Parkinson's, which my grandfather had Parkinson's, so I saw this secondhand. Me being like a young grandchild and like watching this affect him so much, like it was a massive mirror and gave me a bit of massive callback. So like that was very much like a benefit towards its score for me. But this it's 90 minutes long. It's so good the way it's made. Like because like people I say this to people I'm like, this is one of my favorite movies of the year, and I was like, oh, but it's just interviews. It's not. The way that it's like
Mm-mm.
it's edited and everything like that. You'll see what I mean. Even though like the opening of this fucking documentary is hey Scooter is spectacular. That like it will just instantly grip you. It's so good. It is the
Yeah,
best documentary this year that I've seen. Still a Michael J. Fox movie. What's your number four, Ash?
agreed. Yeah, I love that documentary too. I actually watched all the Back to the Future movies like first, and then I was like, well,
That's
I'm
probably
gonna
a
watch the documentary now. So I
smart
feel
way
like
to do
going
it.
in either order can work very well. But yeah, actually that I didn't want to do it as an honorable mention because I figured you were going to talk about it, but I
Nice,
have that definitely in my like top 15 of the year.
nice.
My number 4 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is my first 5-star. I think I told this to you, Harry, maybe the group after I saw it. Like I can see it maybe going down to 4.5 on rewatch, just like a high 4.5, because I did have a little bit of issues with the when they went into the world where there was just like endless Spider-Man. I think it got a little bit convoluted for my personal preference. without saying anything more or spoiling more, but it has been out for 6 months. So if
Yeah,
you
so
haven't seen it,
it's your
sorry.
fault then, right? Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
But I still love this movie. Obviously, the visuals, the animation are just absolutely beautiful. Obviously, kind of seeing Miles become a little bit more moody, a little bit more wanting to, do what he wants to do and kind of figure out his life as Spider-Man. And yeah, I really love Gwen Stacy and getting to know more about her story here. I think that was honestly like one of my favorite parts. Haley Steinfeld is such an amazing voice actress. It's insane. She voices a character in Arcane, Harry, whenever you finally watch it. She could do voice acting for anything I would want. She just has, I don't know what it is about her voice, but it works so damn well
Hell yeah.
for certain characters. So, anyways, that's my number four. And I still like the first one better, but they're both at 5 stars
I
right
don't
now.
think it's a hot take. I think anyone can begin. Like they're both masterpieces.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't think that's
Yeah.
a hot take at all.
All right, Byron, getting into that top three.
Yes, podium finish. 1, 2, and 3 for me are all 5 out of 5 star movies. Number 3 for me is
Shazam 2.
John Wick Chapter 4. That movie is the definition of mid. Shazam.
I think mid's a fucking
Can
compliment
get
for that
fucked.
movie, man. That movie was
Yeah.
rough. That movie was rough.
Number 3, John Wick Chapter 4.
Continue, sorry.
I'm a sucker for action movies. Die Hard, Mad Max, Matrix. They're all 5s. John Wick Chapter 4 may not be at the same level as those movies. This is one of my lowest 5 out of 5s, but it is a 5 out of 5 nonetheless, which makes it one of the best action movies of all time, in my opinion. I think it's easily, which sounds weird, it's easily the best movie of the franchise, and the first 3 movies all bang. I think the original trilogy are all 4.5s. So John Wick Chapter 4 being the first 5 of the franchise really took me off guard. I fucking love this movie. I went to the theater with a couple of my boys, and that was. And we don't really go to the movies like often, like together. So it was pretty nice watching John Wick. We were cracking the fuck up at the stair scene, and
Oh yeah.
it keeps getting kicked down the fucking stairs.
It's just a
I
bad
swear,
day.
off memory, that scene lasted like fucking.
Oh,
30
I just
minutes.
watched this a couple nights ago. It lasts forever. That was the only moment my edible felt like time was moving very slowly.
Fuck! We were cracking up because I was just like, oh, he's gonna get to the top, get kicked down once, and then like just get up.
Nope.
Just keeps getting kicked down. I was like, God damn, man. Yeah, I think one of the best for me is definitely one of the best movies that have released this decade so far. One of the best action movies of all time. I can't wait to see what happens in this universe next. Obviously, they came out with the Continental television series. I thought that was very good. Probably looking at if I were to rank it, like a 3.5 out of 5, 4, and then Ballerina next year, which I'm excited for. I know a lot of people aren't, but I think John Wick Chapter 4 was a great conclusion to although it was pretty fucking sad.
It came out months ago.
Oh yeah, it came out in March. I think it released like a couple days after my fucking birthday, so it was nice. But yeah, number 3 of the year is John Wick 4.
That's a good pick.
All right, Harry, I'm very curious what your number 3 is.
Number 3 is what I think is the best romance film of the year, which is Poor Things. This movie, I've literally, me and Marta every day have been because we're the only ones that we know that truly love Poor Things. Not only say it, but truly fucking love it. And we just keep talking. And more that I think about this, more I talk about this movie, the more I want to give it a 5. So I might.
You didn't give it a 5?
It's 4.5. It's a high 4.5.
So you only have 2 5 stars for the year?
There's a couple 5s in
one.
but I'm I gave Killers a 5, but I liked Poor Things more.
I see. Gotcha.
But very, like thinking about it now and just talking about it, I'm probably gonna move it to a 5. But I want to see it again. It comes out in like 2 days in Australia now, so
Hmm.
it comes out the day after Christmas Day, Boxing Day in Australia. But this movie, I finished this movie, and the first thing I thought of was like, all right, who comes in second at the Oscars to Emma Stone? Because
Yeah.
she is exceptional, and this whole story is just so carefully told, where it's all told from this person whose mentality is growing, right? Like it's a newborn mentality, and it's growing to be like an adult mentality, and like everything in that movie represents that. Towards even just like the shaky dialogue, to from at the beginning towards comparison to the end, to even just the cinematography being like a little blurry here and there, or like overly bright in some areas, and then towards the end it's just super succinct, and just like down to the performance by Emma Stone, where at the start it's like in all the trailers like she can hardly walk and she can hardly speak.
Hmm.
She is fucking outstanding, and Yorgos Lanthimos has slowly but surely come to be one of, if not my favorite director. I love everything
That's
he
awesome.
does. We were talking about stuff we're going to do in January. I'm adding one of his movies to that list. Just putting that out there. Just letting you know. The spoilers. Lobster. Um, yeah, the Poor Things is my number 3. I can't wait till you both watch it. I just really just want to talk about this movie as much as possible.
Hmm.
What's your number
Yeah, we'll
3?
The
definitely be
first
talking
of
about it
January.
soon. Oh, January for you?
1st of January, I think.
Oh shit. Well, it's coming up quick, I guess. It's
Or
only 2 weeks away.
at least my theater might release a little bit. It might release like late December, a couple hours for me, but I
Yeah.
can't do that for movies
I
that
can
don't
look it up.
care enough.
Yeah. It's out already for me, but of course it just came out like
I mean,
today, and I have
yeah,
Christmas like holiday plans all weekend, so I
yeah.
can't go until
I
probably
mean,
the week after.
I can watch it now. I just don't want to.
All right. So my number 3. Were you done, Harry, or did
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have
I'm
anything
sorry.
further to
I
say?
just the sure. I really want that clipped.
Oh, okay. My
In
number
order.
3
If
is
anyone ever's
probably
like, if I post a review and someone in the comments is like, "Oh, your review suck," I'm just gonna post that clip. As... That's awesome.
all you need.
It's enough
My
three.
number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Wow.
Um, yeah. Well, I mean, you guys, I don't know why you're shocked. I mean, the
No,
Guardians
I'm
is
saying
like,
wow,
they're my
good.
favorite MCU. Well, Byron's face was
I
very,
thought,
very
yeah,
judgy. I don't know.
no, what the fuck? Oh, maybe I don't know.
Boy
I
loves
think
a
that's just
Napoleon.
your resting face.
It's my face.
Not enough Josephine
But
for
yeah,
me.
I
Napoleon.
I love this movie. I think it's the best of the Guardians films. I saw it twice in theaters, like back to back, like 2 weekends in a row.
Nice.
I felt changed after I left the theater. I don't know. It just like emotionally was so damn good. It's just the best send off and like ending conclusion for all of these characters that I just love. I saw the first one on my 21st birthday, the first Guardians movie. And then I saw this one like just before turning 30, basically. So I don't know. I just feel like it was like my whole 20s. I was so attached to these characters and these movies for some reason. I just have always loved them. So yeah, I adored the fuck out of it. I think it was a great story. I think James Gunn is incredible. It has one of my favorite fight sequences of the entire year. No Sleep Till Brooklyn,
Oh
dropping
yeah.
that fucking needle. Also,
Definitely.
Dog Days Are Over. I mean, so many great needle drops. The soundtrack is probably one of my favorites of the whole year. So, yeah, I proudly have this as my favorite MCU movie of all time.
So I feel like you guys are on my level here. They're like, I finished. I saw Guardians whenever the premiere. When did it come out? Like April, May, whatever.
Oh
Um,
no.
May.
and
Disney.
I went with my roommate at the time, who like, I work with him, so we both work at where I work. You guys know I don't really want to preface that. But
Yeah.
then like the next day, I message him like, mate, I've just been playing Florence the Machine constantly. He's like, why? And I'm like, because of Dog Days Are Over, like the last song. Like he's like, oh, I didn't even know that was Florence and the Machine. Am I weird? Isn't that like common knowledge that that movie's like one of the biggest songs of like the last 20 years, and it's Florence and the Machine? Am I weird? I thought that was
I
very
don't
common
know that
knowledge.
she might not be as popular, and especially because they were playing music like it was supposed to be like, 2000s music because he has the newer,
Yeah.
device for playing music every single movie. I don't know. I guess she is a bit more like under the radar, I think. Like a lot of people I know don't listen to her.
Okay. Maybe I'm weird.
So
Maybe I'm weird.
I don't know. But it was definitely in my Spotify Wrapped. It was definitely in my top listen songs of
Yeah,
2023.
same with me. Same with me. Yeah.
So,
It's all dancey.
anyways, but yeah, I could talk all day about that movie, so I won't. But that is my number three. Byron, number two.
Yeah, now we're getting interesting. Because there's one movie, and I'm curious where it places now. My number two, I'm not going to go on about it for too long. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is my number two. For me, it's not only better than the first film. I've seen it 3 times now. Oh, it's so judgy. Fuck.
I know.
Um,
Just giving it back to you.
um,
What?
yeah, fuck. Yeah, I think it second best movie of the year, better than the first film, one of the best of the decade so far. I think it might not be the best animated film ever made, but I think it's the best display of animated filmmaking of all time. I don't think I can recall a movie that is as impressive as this. I know if you judge it on like when certain movies came out, there's ones that are probably at that level. But for me, this was everything I wanted it to be. I wasn't overly excited for its release, but after I saw it, I cannot fucking wait until the third film. For me, this is Marvel's second best movie after Logan. To it was everything I wanted it to be. I thought it was fucking great.
Nice.
Nice. All right, Harry.
Oppie. Oppenheimer number two. Movie is spectacular. This very much is just like an epic. I used to work with a guy. This is I think he listened to the podcast, so shout out Julian. Thank you for listening. It was hilarious. Leading up to this movie, he was very much. We did an insider bet for a little bit of money that he was convinced that this wasn't going to make $100 million worldwide. I was like, okay, make it 200. Like, I'll bet whatever number you can think of. I'm betting that because it's definitely making 100. And he was like, oh no, people just didn't like Tenet. And I'm like, yeah, cool, but Tenet made 360 million and was released during COVID. Like, it's making, and so it almost made a bill. So, to answer your next question, medium rare is the cut of the way the steak was cooked that I bought from that money that I got. So that was really good. It melted.
The only way to cook it.
Melted in the mouth. It was great. Oppenheimer's spectacular. There's everything about this movie. This is one of those movies that is just so fucking perfect, left, right, and center. Am I boring you, Byron? But, I thought you were yawning. Sorry.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, everything about it is amazing. It has probably my favorite scene of the year, the Trinity scene, the Trinity
Sorry,
test.
he just yawned and you looked away, so it was just really funny timing.
Well, yeah. Like this is up there with one of Nolan's best for me. I think that Killian's gonna be tough to beat at the Oscars, and yeah, I loved Oppenheimer. What's yours, Ash?
All right. Well, we're twinning here because mine is also Oppenheimer.
Oppie.
Yeah, I second everything you said. I won't spend too much time talking more about it, but this might be one that when I rewatch it, it might go back to number one. But for me, like movies have to have like this like specific emotional connection for me to like have it be like the number one of something. Like, I don't rate. I'm a little bit different than you, Byron. I rate it more like technical and like quality, but also like how much I love it and like emotionally connect to it. It doesn't have to be necessarily like emotional, like sadness. It can be any emotion.
Yeah, it definitely plays a factor when I rank stuff. It's just
yeah. And when I get to my number one, that one just like it just hit me differently. But I think on rewatch, this one will probably like be, I don't know, it'll be kind of where they could flip back and forth. I saw this on my birthday in IMAX. It's the first movie I've ever, well, I shouldn't say ever. I saw Avatar in IMAX when it came out forever and a day ago. I have not seen a movie in IMAX since then until this movie.
Oh wow.
And I was a teenager then, so I don't even really remember what it was like. So this was an experience for sure.
Yeah, perfect one to see it in. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene in the is it a church where he's talking to all the people and I
The
think I had
rumbling the
almost like a
seats.
mini heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that scene was yeah, intense. There's a lot of intense moments in this movie, but yeah, I absolutely think he's going to win. There's probably no question in my mind with that. And I hope that Robert Downey Jr. wins for supporting actor as well.
Yeah.
So that's number 2. All right. We're into the finale here.
Yes. So it went Oppenheimer, and because it's gone back to me, number 1 is Oppenheimer.
Nice.
Fuck, I should have said a joke then. Yeah, this is Christopher Nolan's 6th 5 out of 5 star movie for me, which ties him with Martin Scorsese for having the most for me. This blew me away. Pun fully intended. It was great. There's really nothing more to add. For me, it's perfect. I think it's gonna dominate the fucking Oscars. I think the score was phenomenal. I think Murphy, Blunt, Pugh, Downey. I think all of their performances were some of their career's best. I genuinely think that it's one of the greatest movies of all time. If I rate it a 5, I will say that it's one of the greatest movies of all time. Or else I ain't giving it a 5. I think this sits inside my top 50 ever, which I don't know if that's surprising at all. But I fucking love this movie. 3 hours of intense drama storytelling. I thought it was fucking great.
Nice.
I think I know what your number 1 is.
Mine?
All right, Harry.
All right, my number 1 is 65.
The Marvels.
No, it's Blue Beetle. No. Now my number 1, you said it best, Ash, that like what goes to your number 1 should really just resonate you emotionally and really be a movie that's made for you, and that's exactly how I describe Saltburn. Saltburn is the only movie I came out of this year where I immediately called people and I was like, you need to watch Saltburn. You need to watch Saltburn. So I watched it the first time on a Thursday. Then I told my boss about it, and on Friday, this is kind of incriminating him. Not incriminating. He's like halfway through the day, he's like, let's go see Saltburn. So during the day of the work day on a Friday, me and my boss just went and saw Saltburn, and he came out of it, gave it a 5. I know. He gave it a 5.
Naughty.
Yeah, it comes with the job. He gave it a 5. As well, which is great. And then the Sunday, one of my best mates and I, he wanted to go see, he like called me, I was hungover, and he's like, what are you up to? I'm like, I'm hungover, and he's like, what are you up to? I'm like, not much. He's like, let's go see Saltburn. So saw it for the 3rd time in an opening weekend, which it just completely just reaffirms. Every time I see this movie, I've seen it 4 times now, every time I see it, it just completely reaffirms. I know, I very much am aware that I like this a lot more than most. I'm well aware. I also couldn't give a fuck. This movie is very much made for me. Everything about it, I find the perfect word for this film for me is I find this movie just purely intoxicating. Everything about it, every frame of this movie is so sexy. Like, and I'm not just talking about Jacob Elordi.
That's enough to say that it's sexy.
He's
just that alone.
Spectacular in this film. No, Barry Keoghan does one of the best performances I've ever seen, in my opinion. For me,
that ending is one of my favorites of the entire year.
Oh, it's so good. Like I don't want to say.
Wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Good for him. That's all I'm gonna say. Good for him.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, now you are.
I'm not gonna watch it until you watch Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, I'll watch Winnie the Pooh today.
Totally
I guess.
different.
I'll do it though. Like if that's what it'll take. You're gonna watch Saltburn. Yeah, this movie, everything about it, like the soundtrack alone, is one of my favorite soundtracks of the year. The cinematography, the whole movie's in a 4:3 square, which I don't really love it when movies do that. For this, it makes pure sense.
Well, it's set in 2006, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah, but it's also I was listening to an interview with the director that she did it. Sorry, what's her name? Emerald Fennell. She did it because it represents a window into their life, and that's what Oliver was the
Interesting.
entire
Okay.
time. He's just looking into a window. He's not part of it. He's looking through it. It's very like there's still a barrier, even though you're in Saltburn. There's still a barrier. I just fucking love Saltburn. That's my number one. Ash, what's your number one?
Awesome. My number one is Past Lives. I instantly felt like I found my new favorite movie after I stopped watching this. Okay. I cry a lot in movies. This is probably like the one that made me cry the most. And it wasn't all like sadness or anything. It was just like the story is just so damn good. Yeah, another win for A24 directorial debut. I'm just like in awe of how many great movies they've put out that are directorial debuts. But just the line of like you dream in a language I can't understand. Like I haven't forgotten that all year, and I think it's been months now since I watched this, and it's just this idea of like being with somebody who doesn't fully understand all parts of you, and then just like navigating this like friendship with this person from her past who does kind of understand pieces of her that she kind of let go of when she came to America. There's just so many moments. I don't want to, I guess, spoil it, but it has been out for a while now, so if you haven't seen it, then that's your own fault. I like when movies have like a mixture of like it's in English, but there's a lot of Korean that you have to read, a lot of subtitles. I love when they do that. It feels so much more authentic to the character and what they're going through. This also goes through like a time jump a little bit, Byron. So like you see a period of time where it's like 2011 and they actually have like the Mac that was out at that time and the phone that was out at that time. Like all the little details are so well done. Oh, you've seen it. I don't know why I'm talking to you like you haven't seen it. Sorry.
A Mac is a computer, Byron, that people use to type
I don't know
stuff.
why I was thinking he hadn't seen this movie when he literally just talked about it like 30 minutes ago. My apologies. But yeah, this is my favorite movie without a doubt.
Well, you're chopping up,
Did you
Byron.
say something, Byron?
I know.
It's all right. Your internet's killing you right now, Byron.
Anyway.
Just so you know.
Yeah, so that is my number one without a doubt, and I'm looking forward to watching it again so I can kind of solidify which one of those two are my favorite. But that is our top 10 wrap up. Do you guys want to go back through your full list, or do we want to just jump into the draft?
I think we can jump to. I can rattle them out if you like. I haven't written.
Yeah,
them
let's
down,
just jump into the draft, and then we'll redo our we'll go through our draft whenever we're done. So we'll do 10 each, so that way we can kind of include like some of our non-top 10 movies, and try to get some fun ones in there, maybe that just made us laugh or that we just had fun with, but they weren't necessarily our favorites. So the order of the draft is going to be Byron, Harry, and then me.
Mm-hmm.
So Byron, we can see you. Hello.
Am I here? Am I here?
That's better.
You're here.
You looked you looked 8-bit for a second. There. You looked 8-bit.
All right, just in time to start us off.
Sweet. Number one pick. I'm gonna go with my number one movie of the year. I'm gonna go Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Like it's not gonna get back to me. I don't.
Yeah, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have.
So I gotta take it now.
The only right
so
pick.
number one,
Nice.
Oppenheimer. Fuck you, number one.
I'm playing this for picks. Okay. Ash, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's in my top 5, but I'm playing this for picks. I'm going Past Lives for my number one because I feel Ash, like out of respect, it deserves a round one pick. It deserves it. It deserves it.
Don't make this
It
about
deserves
respect.
It deserves it. Deserves it, Ash.
To be fair, I'm glad he stole a pick from you because he usually does it.
He usually does steal from you. Okay, well, I have back-to-back, so I'm going to take first Killers of the Flower Moon, because I feel like that's definitely up there for a lot of people, and
That's
obviously
the correct pick.
for me.
Nice.
And then I'm going to take Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
Sorry, Byron.
That's correct. That's
Nice.
All right, Harry.
All right, my second round pick is going to be Godzilla -1.
Oh, fuck you, man. God damn it.
Saw it first, baby.
Yeah, well,
All right.
By the way,
Fuck you.
we're doing the normal draft rules, right? Where we can only pick movies that we've fucking seen, okay? Because
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
Alex Lopez, you watching this?
yeah,
You're
okay,
cheating.
good, good. I'll never forget that halfway through. It's just like, now I haven't seen it, but I'm doing what was the movie?
I was going through my old like files yesterday, and I came across that draft. He's like, I'm taking a movie I haven't seen. It's just like,
Yeah.
hey,
What was it?
We
It
don't
was
do that here.
it was a Tarkovsky film.
Stalker.
Stalker. That was it. Yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen, watch that shit.
I haven't seen Stalker.
Um,
I will.
you haven't.
No, I haven't seen any Tarkovsky film.
You should. No, you should. You start with Stalker. It's great.
Okay.
All right, back to back here. I'm going to take the only 5 out of 5 movie that I still have left on here. John Wick Chapter 4.
Nice.
I'm going with the orange theme of this draft.
Yeah, apparently.
And then I will take. Fuck, it's getting hard because I question like what to grab. I'm going to grab Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah, they had to
Yeah,
go.
don't
please and
steal it
thank you.
from me.
They had to go.
I do want a superhero movie in there somewhere.
They had to
All
go.
right.
Okay.
Harry?
My third pick. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go Saltburn now
Okay.
because I do feel Ash might feel a little bit of vengeance in her heart, and whilst Byron
So
can't take
you
it,
got-
she can take it.
You got your favorite
Yeah, I did.
and mine? I just want to make sure I got that right.
You could have taken it. You could have. Just you could have.
Nah,
No, well done.
I couldn't take it over the two that I picked.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's fair enough.
Now back to back again for me. I'm gonna take Barbie. I feel like a lot of people
Nice.
still enjoy it and loved it, and obviously I did too.
I think it's a steal for a
then
third round.
for
to be
my-
honest.
Yeah. And then I think I'm gonna go with May December. I feel like a lot of
Oh,
people are
good
liking
pick.
it. So
Another one that I have not seen.
Yeah, you need to watch. You'd love May December, I reckon.
yeah, I think you'd give it like a 4.
I'll leave that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm gonna go.
We'll see. I'll get it done.
Again, I'm being pandering right now. I'm gonna go Talk to Me.
I was gonna take that, and I did May December.
Damn.
Harry's looking good on his list.
All right, I will go. Did anyone pick the Evil Dead Rise yet?
Not yet.
No.
Cool. I want horror on here. I'm gonna go Evil
God
Dead
damn it.
Rise at 4.
That's a good pick.
And then I like when we do drafts, I like variety. Variety's always
Yeah,
good
I'm
thing.
with you there.
The spice of life.
Number 4. Now we're getting risky because I've just got a bunch of 4 stars and less. I am gonna go with Scream 6. I'm gonna go another
God
horror.
damn it! You
because-
took another horror film before I even got one.
Horror is my second favorite genre.
Should have taken Talk to Me.
Good. Yeah.
Damn,
But she
I am
didn't.
sucking.
Harry? Yeah?
He does this shit to me all the time.
Yeah, what's up?
Usually I just like
I'm gonna smack you.
get fucked.
The thing is, I'm going to eventually take Poor Things, but you guys haven't seen it, so that's my round.
Yeah, fuck you. You can just wait till the last
That's
hit.
my
Like
round
a great
two.
movie.
Yeah,
Such a
exactly.
shit.
Ash, let's just veto it. Let's just both veto it.
Can't veto it.
It doesn't release until 2024 to me. It doesn't count.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's in this year's Oscars.
Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna go for my
Don't-
round 5. I'm gonna go The Boy and the Heron.
I couldn't have picked it.
Stole my pick.
Sorry,
Ash is really getting fucked over, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm last, but I'm not really having it work to my advantage.
No.
Okay. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take Wonka. People are
cool.
loving
no,
it.
No, no,
Having
that's
fun with
that's
it.
actually a
No,
better. That's a
no.
better pick.
What
than,
the fuck?
Yeah, that's a better pick. That's the better pick.
And I
Oh, yeah.
think honestly, I'll take Bottoms.
It's a great pick. I had a lot of fun with Bottoms.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so round 6. Ooh, here it gets to, you know. Ooh, little bit
I'm good. I think I'm good.
You think you're good?
I'm pretty confident that I'm pretty fucking notorious.
Okay, all right.
God, you guys both have such a good list. Mine is like all over the fucking place.
I want to go the holdovers, even though you haven't, both haven't seen it,
Okay.
Sweet.
right?
Haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I have not.
I could have saved that. That was a stupid pick,
Uh,
guys.
But
so
you didn't.
so my 6 and 7, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the number 6, I'm gonna go with the highest movie that's is still undrafted, David Fincher's The Killer.
Yeah.
And then number 7, I will go with. Oh, I'm gonna change it now. I'm gonna go with Asteroid City.
Nice.
I did enjoy that movie from Wessie boy.
What's a bar?
Very nice.
That's a really good one.
Wessie
Okay.
boy. Thank you.
Now I'm
Thank
kind of
you.
just scrolling towards. See, I've got like 4 that I could take. I'm going to take Blackberry for my
Yep.
number 7.
You keep taking the one that I was gonna take right before I
Really?
was gonna take it. That's like the third time now.
Well, Harry and I do have a lot of
God.
experience in giraffes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
a-
guys are more versed than I am.
That's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, it's just such a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take one of the most underrated coming of age movies of the year, and I'm gonna take Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
That was my next pick, to be honest. Good work.
And no, I
Um,
haven't seen it.
It's a great movie. And then for
I
my
love that movie. Yeah.
eighth pick,
Yeah.
you know what? I have to get a horror movie in here. I have to. So I'm taking Thanksgiving. Fuck it.
That's a good pick.
I mean, that'll get votes.
Absolutely.
It's one of my lower rated horror films, but I think people love it.
But there
And
are
it's still a fun time.
There are a lot of people that have that rated at like 4s and 4.5s.
All right. I'm going to go.
Harry.
All right. My last 2 can kind of be. All right, cool. I'm good. I'm going to go Beau's Afraid for number 8.
I'm actually kind of surprised it took you that long to pick it.
I know.
Wait, how many do I have left?
You got 8, 9, 10.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 more. Sweet. Fuck yeah. Okay, I will go with Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Nice.
Might actually rewatch that. And then I will go with going for that Bilal vote, going Creed 3.
I thought you
Nice.
were going to
Forgot that
say
even
Blue
came out.
Beetle. I was like, are you sure?
Fuck that. I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it.
You lucky boy.
It's
Alright.
going to be the most generic fucking superhero movie ever.
It is. My ninth pick is going to be what comes in at number 4 for the year for me, which is Still.
I wasn't sure if we were going to include that, but obviously it's like a movie length, so
Yeah, Michael J. Fox movie. Did you miss that? Have you seen it, Byron? Oh, okay. All right, that's my number 9. What's
Nice.
You've got your last 2, Ash.
These are my last 2.
Yep.
Okay. Just because it was so damn fun and nostalgic, I'm taking the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
That's a good pick.
I had fun with that movie. I thought it was fun, and I thought I gave it a 3.5, so I think it's decent.
No, it's a good fun movie.
And then my final pick, I guess I'll take Priscilla. I don't think as many people have seen it, but I think it's super solid. So
Nice. No, Priscilla's great. Man, I can't wait to rewatch Priscilla, to be honest. It comes out in cinemas in like 2 weeks for me, so I'll probably just go see it again.
yeah, it's definitely worth seeing in theaters, I think.
For my 10th,
Yeah, theaters.
For my 10th pick, Jesus, Byron, you're on a movie podcast. For my 10th pick, also known as the Steal of the Century, shout out to Marta, high five. I'm taking Yorgos Lanthimos' Poor Things. Jesus Christ.
Is that like an inside joke to the movie, or
What, his name?
no? You said like steal of the.
Well, I just think that
Steal the
like I think
century.
it's one of the
Because
best.
neither of us have seen it.
I think it's like one of the best movies this year, and to
Oh,
steal it in round 10.
I see,
It's all
because we
strategy.
haven't
It's all
seen it.
strategy.
Well, aren't you just so fucking good at being strategic, Harry?
Harry, you didn't take a Nicolas Cage movie at all?
No, I didn't.
Crazy.
You had like 5 this year.
He had way too many this year.
Bro, who does that?
I'm drafting for votes this week, and people don't understand the cage. They don't understand.
Okay, last pick. I was originally going to go with Suzume, because neither of you have seen it, I think. I will go Napoleon. It's Ridley Scott, my favorite director of all time. I really need to grind the rest of his filmography out now that I say that.
Yeah.
I think I have 9 left.
Wow, some big ones that
Nice.
were left
Okay.
off the table. Air, Hunger Games,
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair Play, Rye Lane,
I,
um,
no, no,
I thought about choosing Rylane.
I haven't seen
Creator,
either of those.
Dumb Money was left off. Same with Dungeons and Dragons.
Missing.
I'm afraid that was left off. I'm afraid I'm surprised.
Extraction 2.
Yeah, Extraction 2 was good fun, to be honest. But I've got
It
them all.
was. I gave it a 4.
Do you have them listed out, Ash? I've got them listed out if you want me to
I
run through
do.
them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I can. I have them all listed here. I can go through them. So Byron, you took Oppenheimer,
Dang it.
John Wick Chapter 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Evil Dead Rise, Scream 6, The Killer, Asteroid City, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. That's a mouthful. Creed 3, and Napoleon.
Oh, it's a winner.
Pretty
Winner.
decent list there.
Good
Yeah,
list.
I'm impressed.
And Harry's.
Harry took Past Lives.
Bang.
And I'm not going to get over that for a while. Godzilla -1,
Bang.
Saltburn, Talk to
Bang.
Me,
Bang.
Boy and the Heron, The Holdovers,
Bang.
Blackberry, Beau is Afraid, Still, a Michael J. Fox story, and Poor Things.
Oh, Steal the Century.
And then I took Killers of the Flower Moon, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Barbie, May December, Wonka, Bottoms, Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret, Thanksgiving, Super Mario Bros, and Priscilla.
Sounds like a very colorful.
You know,
Does.
my list is gonna give you every single emotion and type of movie you could think of.
I'm glad. I got some drama in there. I got some action. I got some. Oh shit! I didn't grab animation. Okay, fuck, that's what I was going to grab. Suzume. Fuck.
It's a very solid list, though. All right. Well, that wraps up our 2023 discussions, our top 10s, our movie draft. Let us know who you think was the best draft in the comments. And I think now, Harry, do you have some information to announce our
Yes.
giveaway winner?
So put up a giveaway on TikTok and Insta stories, etc. The couple prerequisites, just to follow us on everything and to comment on the latest episode of episode 10 on YouTube. A few people did, which is great. So the winner will receive The Cost, which is a fabulous film from Matthew Holmes. Which I got to interview him. He was a friend of the show. He's an absolute legend. A 4K edition of Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which immediately
Banger.
Byron was like, "Oh, can I just have it?" No. And then he also got a 4K edition
Buy your own
of
copy.
Jaws. I'm like, Byron's like, I could just comment on the video.
To be
I'm like,
fair, I did for listeners and or watchers, I did message Harry. I was just like, if I comment,
yeah.
can I?
I was like, yeah.
Can there be a chance?
No.
Byron's just gonna make like a fake profile on everything to go enter into the giveaway.
So I've got the wheel
I
of
should
names.
have done that.
I've got the wheel of names
Mhm.
and pressing it.
Drum
the
roll,
winner
please.
is Braden Crocker. So,
Braden Crocker.
So I'll message you during the week, mate.
I like that guy.
Well done. Thank you very much for your support.
That's Braden.
And I'll get your address and we'll get this shipped out to you this week. But yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
In
Very nice.
episode 20 probably.
Yeah. If you guys like the giveaways, let us know. But it's definitely fun and a good way to get some physical media. So that wraps up episode 11 of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. Follow us on everything: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, X/Twitter, Threads, you name it. We appreciate all the support and listening, and hope you have a very Merry Christmas.